you took David Johnson, which David Johnson's a good football player, but he's not DeAndre Hopkins. Plus, he's a running back. So when you start to look at all of those sort of things and you put them together, you say, well, he got him fired and he got him fired because he can't win. It's the bottom line. You laughing at?
Oh, Key. I don't get a chance to do this too often on football stuff because you know way more football than me. But 3.5 weeks ago, man, I sat up here and I told you, I said it to you. I said, I don't think Bill O'Brien's the answer as a GM and as a head coach. You sat up here and told me, well, they got Brandon Cooks. And
well, I thought
let me finish now. We got David Johnson, and David Johnson's going to be okay. And I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm sitting there saying, look, man, like all the moves he's made, do you know where this team this year, they currently rank last in the NFL in rushing yards per game, failing to score over 23 points or more throughout four games.
I understand.
David Johnson not giving you the time that they want. Even this goes back. He got fired because of horrible personnel decisions. Even go back to Aaron Colvin, where they offered him after a single week in 2019, 1 year removal from giving him $34 million extension. They let him go. Like this is a history from Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, well, he didn't do a good job as far as putting a. Once Rick Smith left the team, General Manager Rick Smith left the team because he had some personal issues with his family that he had to take serious and deal with. They wind up kind of floating around. They brought in Brian Gaines as a general manager. Brian Gaines, Bill O'Brien out. He takes over. He takes control of personnel. Brandon Cooks, receiver from the Rams, 1,000 yards everywhere he's ever been. All he needed to do was stay healthy. One of the top young receivers in the game. For whatever reason, they're not getting enough out of him with Deshaun. I have no idea. Not Brandon Steele. The receiver. Kenny Steele. Where did I get Brandon? I was about to say
You're thinking Brandon Cooks again.
Red.
Yeah, sorry.
Solid. Then when you look at Fuller when healthy, the vertical stretch game opens up the lanes for David Johnson. Why they haven't been productive offensively, I have no idea. But you can't tell me when you looked at those three receivers, if you know anything about football, you look at those three at the beginning of the year, you can't sit here and say, well, those dudes are trash, because it's not true. All them dudes can ball. It's just that I don't know what Bill O'Brien did from an offensive philosophy standpoint to change what he did when he had DeAndre Hopkins.
I'm never saying that those guys are trash. It's not what I was saying at all.
No, you didn't say that. I'm just saying that those guys are guys in this league. When you pair those three, anybody would tell you, oh, well, they got a lot of options right there.
I hear you.
All 4-3 dudes can all run.
I'm just going back to, it felt like with Jadeveon Clowney and DeAndre Hopkins, it felt personal.
Well, it felt personal
for Bill O'Brien. It didn't feel like it was like, hey, what's the right business decision? What's the right interest for our team? Especially with the way Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins were connecting all the time. And like I know they're cute, but watching Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins connect, it makes you feel every time I watch the Cardinals play, right? So even
checks and balances, though, Jay, there was no checks and balances for when coaches have dual hats in football. There's no checks and balances. They kind of just run everything. Even though Bill Belichick runs everything up there, he still has people that he trusts from a checks and balance standpoint because he's secure in his position. He doesn't feel threatened. A lot of times, guys like Bill O'Brien, you bring somebody in, you feel threatened, and that may have been part of the case with him.
Well, I did a boardroom interview show I did with Kevin Durant and Rich Kleiman with Larry Tunzel, and talked to him about he negotiated his own deal. He didn't have an agent, right? He got $5 million over asking price, over market value. Right? And I'm saying, like, Larry Tunzel deserves his money, but at the same time, that relationship that he has with Bill O'Brien, the fact there is no checks or balances, allows him to make decisions like that sometimes seem like they're emotional decisions.
Well, a lot of his decisions probably were emotional and got him fired. Will he get another job as a head coach? He probably should get another job as a head coach. But in the meantime, he should go sit in the corner for another year or so. Just sit in the corner, sit tight, a year or two.
You know that's not going to happen.
No, but it should. Gather your thoughts, figure out where you're at in life and breathe, go fishing, do all of those sort of things. It's
going to happen.
And then come back, rejuvenated in a couple years, and become a better head coach and not try to be the entire boss.
Money talks, Zubin, though. You know this is a recycle league, just like the NBA. Keep them filtering out.
Yeah, but I'm only recycling dudes that's winning. I'm not recycling dudes that's teetering along.
Okay.
right? I mean, why would I want to? I could go get that from anywhere.
Okay.
Just to put a bow on to Jay's point about Laramie Tunsil, that was one of the big demerits against Bill O'Brien. He talked about how much more Tunsil got. The idea that they acquired him, needed him to protect Deshaun Watson, so they had to pay him above market value. And then O'Brien says, because we signed Tunsil, I can't afford DeAndre Hopkins. That was his rationale. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong, but that ended up being his issue.
I mean, you can pay who you want to pay.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.